What's up, guys? How you doing? All right. So I put out a video recently talking about content that I'm going to be putting out. Two sheds, one for storage and one possibly being a casita. And I had mentioned that if you want to help donate time, advice, money, that you're more than welcome to. And listen, I got some old trolls out there that are gonna do nothing but he's e-begging and stuff like that. The most important thing right now for me is the advice I can get on how to set my mom up with a decent place to stay on my property or my brother's property. It doesn't matter. As long as she's safe, no one's taking advantage of her, which people are right now because we don't live in the city with her. I am not healthy enough to go visit her all the time. I get to visit her once a month. But if she were here on the property, we'd be able to keep a closer eye on her and make sure people aren't taking advantage of her. So, stop thinking that I'm just begging for money. That's not it. I'm begging for advice. I'm begging for help as far as what can I do? Who can help me in this type of situation? I need to know if there's programs out there. I know people say Google, it's a Google search away, but sometimes when it comes to stuff like this, I am just way behind the times. So if any of you know what I can do to help my 79-year-old mother to be able to build a house for her on my property at the lowest possible cost, then please let me have some advice. I prefer the advice over anything monetary. Again, if you want to donate monetarily, I'll accept that too. But the advice and the help is what I need as far as what can I do? Who can I talk to? That's what I want. This is not a trolling situation, guys, so please stop it. If I go live to talk about this and I get any troll comments, I'm going to boot you off right away. There's a reason why I haven't been online or in the boxing community or on any panels too much, because I have had this on my mind. Yesterday was the first time I got to go on a panel just to have a little fun, and even then I fucked up. So I just want to do the right thing. I want to be a good son, in which I feel I have been. I just want to do the right thing. And if you guys can help me, that'd be great. But don't come troll me. I'm not dealing with it this time. So here's the situation. I have I got a 20 foot by 32 foot slab of concrete out there. I'll show you the video of it. Okay, this is the concrete slab that I was talking about, guys, that I wanted to do something with. Get up here. All right. Now, the measurements are 20 by 32. Don't mind the damn weeds and stuff like that. I don't even have money to get a gardener or anything like that, and I don't got the strength to do it myself. But this concrete here has already been plumbed and leveled. The person that owned the property before me was planning on building a casita here, but this is what I was thinking about using for my mom to build on this. And now that you got a better idea of what I'm talking about, I'll edit this video and explain more. Okay, now that you've seen the piece of property I was talking about, all right, let's get a little more in depth on my mom. My mom's very old. She's very set in her ways. And I mean very set in her ways. She can be very difficult. She's like the typical boomer. And she makes things difficult for me. But it is what it is, and I got to do what I got to do to make sure she's okay. One thing I won't do is sacrifice my marriage, which is why I will not move her into the house, because that'll be too much strain on my wife and I. But to have her on the property or my brother's property, it doesn't have to be on my property, but to have her on our property would make it so much easier to be able to keep an eye on her and make sure that she doesn't have influences like crackhead neighbors and junkie neighbors that constantly bother my mom now, asks her for rides. Her, that she is such a nice person sometimes. She gives everybody rides, but when her car breaks down, which is what happens now, nobody helps her out. It ends up costing me or my brother money to fix the car, or my aunt, who also helps out my mother. Now, we need to alleviate this, so we need to be able to watch, who goes to see her. On my property, it's so remote, nobody's going to come down there and see her, because I'm miles away from the city. My brother is in the city, and I'd rather him not have to deal with that. I can deal with it because I'm in such a remote area. But either one of us will take her. We'll take her on the property if we can have this built for her on my property, that I could put a storage unit on, a shed on, that's at least close to those dimensions, and then I could just have that insulated and made into a tiny home for my mom. All right. This is what we got to work with. Right now, she lives in about a 600 and I think she lives in a 700 square foot apartment on low income, in a low income area. So you can imagine what it's like. Right now, she doesn't have a car, and I can't go out there and give her rides for all her appointments. At least here, I'll be able to get her doctors close to us. Anyway, that's what we got to work with. If y'all have any advice or any connections or any way that you can help as far as getting this done for as cheap as possible, cost effective as possible. Now, mind you, she uses a scooter. She's very limited in her mobility. So this is how come people took advantage of her. So if you got any advice or anything that you could help with, let me know. I'd appreciate any kind of advice, any kind of help. Thank you very much. I appreciate you taking the time to watch this video.